Hello, we are live. Laura, there's an issue with Facebook. Can you look into that? That's how we immediately start the live event. How is everybody doing? Thanks for coming into us through YouTube. We are working there. Please let us know where you're coming from. We are up in Toronto. Laura and Rachel are in the office, which is nice. Not a storage closet as it sort of looks like, but actually down at Kobo HQ. So yeah, we're super excited today to get to chat to everyone and kind of do a little bit of an AMA. And then also we have some points that we can go through kind of start to finish publishing on KWL and hopefully answer any questions that anybody has coming up. Awesome. You're saying you're coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. We have Vermont, Portland, wicked. So yeah, feel free to drop in any questions that you have if there's anything that you wanted to ask us, and we'll try and pick and choose them throughout. But if not, oh God, you guys are coming from all over. This is wicked. So we got Pickering, Santa Cruz, Pasadena. Awesome. So yes, let us know any of your questions. Now is the time to ask everything. But so to begin with, we're going to do a quick introduction. So my name is Tara. I'm the director of Kobo Writing Life and sort of oversee a lot of the platform developments and like chatting to authors. And really my aim is to sort of make sure that we have the best self-publishing platform that we can create and help you authors reach new readers. So I will hand off to Rach. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I would love to. Hello, I am Rachel. I am the promotion specialist for Kobo Writing Life. So that essentially means anything to do with promotions, from ebooks to audiobooks to overdrive promotions to new Kobo Plus promotions. I am the person who runs them and works with authors and our merchandising team to give Kobo Writing Life authors a bit more visibility on the Kobo store. I am also one of the co-hosts of the Kobo Writing Life podcast, which is one of my favorite parts of my job, getting to talk to authors and publishing professionals. And yeah, that's kind of my gig. And I'll pass it over to Laura.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura. I'm Kobo Writing Life's author engagement manager. So what I do is a lot of support for authors. I'm in the author tickets, answering any of your questions. I also help out with author payments. I co-host the podcast with Rachel. Honestly, do a little bit of everything. I also do our social media channels as well. Yeah. I think that's it. Did I forget anything, guys? What is my job?
No, I think you cover everything. You have hands on all things all the time, which I much appreciate. So keep the questions coming in. We'll get to them. And maybe to start off, we can kind of, if people aren't familiar with Kobo Writing Life, maybe just some little overview about getting started. So Laura, do you want to talk about kind of like the process of like creating an account and then maybe the payment side as that's what you kind of touch on?
Sure. So we like to say that getting started with Kobo Writing Life is just 4 easy steps. So a lot of it is just entering your contact and publisher information, adding your payment information so we can pay you, very important. And then it's uploading your content and hitting publish, and then actually getting the promotions tab and promoting your books. So we're pretty user-friendly. We have a great dashboard with lots of data and information that we just recently updated and refreshed. So it's pretty easy for a new user. I definitely recommend when you're going wide or getting started for the first time, kind of familiarizing yourself with the platform, looking at our help center, looking at our blog, which you can find at kobowritinglife.com. And then also listening to podcast episodes as well, just kind of getting some advice from your fellow authors there.
Great. And do you want to touch on like the royalty structure?
Sure. So yeah, we have a royalty structure where if your book is priced at $2.99 and up, did I get that right, guys? You can. I had a brain fart for a second. You'll get 70% of the list price for each book sold. And for under that threshold, it will be 45%. So yeah, that's basically the structure of our payment process, but you can also take a look at our help center as well. And we have articles breaking everything down there too.
Great, thanks. And with Kobo Writing Life, you can publish ebooks and audiobooks. It's a really easy publication process where you kind of just upload your files. We take Word docs that we convert to EPUBs. You can upload Mobi, even though nobody uses that anymore. We still do take it. Although you probably would have a better experience uploading a different type of file just because Mobi doesn't convert terribly well. And then we also, for audio, it's like MP3, MP4 that you can upload, and it's a really easy sort of process. When it comes to the metadata, that's something that I think is really important because that's how you're selling your books, especially digitally. You have to consider that somebody can't really lift up the book and browse through. So having the metadata up to date and correct, especially series metadata, is really, really key, I believe. So that's something that I would definitely keep in mind. And yeah, I'll chuck a couple of questions up as we're going. So let me see. Sorry. So question, which I think was answered in the chat, but for the sake of people watching the video with KL, I created auto-narrated audiobooks on Google Play. Can I upload those files to Kobo? Yes, you can. We do accept those files. So if you don't have the audiobooks tab, you just have to email us and request it. It's just something we need to add to your account. And one thing that we would ask with any of the kind of auto-narrated or machine-created content is that you just clearly label it. So this is, again, why the metadata is so important. Want to make sure that customers are sort of aware of what they're purchasing. So you just have to make sure it's either in your like maybe it's in your subtitle or definitely part of your description, but you just want to make it very clear what it is. But yes, you can upload those to Kobo Writing Life. And then we have a question here. I have a first in series perma-free, and the remaining series is in Kobo Plus. As free books are not in Kobo Plus, how do you suggest we get readers to backtrack and read the first book? That's a good question. And I believe that I think, again, this comes back to your metadata being absolutely clean and making sure that you have the series numbers listed correctly. Because we're going to be able to kind of prompt the person for the next book. So when it's a book one, you're kind of wanting to make sure that you're telling your readers that it is there available. But in Kobo Plus, if they do see a further book, they'll be able to see the full series of books on the product page on kobo.com. But it's also something to consider is a really good opportunity for box sets because those do really well on Kobo and really well on Kobo Plus. So that could also be maybe a leverage of having that book one in. Rach, I don't know if you want to speak to that from like kind of the promotional side.
The box set of it all, you mean?
Or like the perma-free in general.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can speak to both. As far as the box set goes, to kind of echo what Tara just said, box sets sell and are very popular with Kobo readers, and especially in Kobo Plus, excuse me, because there's just such an ease to finding like 5 books at once. You don't need to leave the book in order to keep reading the series. So Kobo Plus readers who are the most voracious readers really appreciate the convenience of that. And to kind of answer the question about the perma-free and Kobo Plus, again, what Tara said, it really has to do with your series metadata. So if a reader finds book 2 in Kobo Plus and they click into that product page, if your series metadata is correct and clean, and when we say clean, we really do just mean correct, they'll be able to see book 1, click into that product page, see that it's free, and just add to their library that way. So it really does come down to the clarity of your metadata for readers to go from book 2 to book 1. And then to speak to the perma-free free first in series, this is absolutely still a very popular tool in the indie author toolbox to bring new readers in to their series. We have our free page on the Kobo Plus store, and we have a free first in series carousel on that page that is very popular, one of our more popular promotions, and is a great way to find new readers through your free first in series. I have such a hard time saying that, and I don't know why. Free first in series.
It's a tongue twister.
And I guess to kind of just talk about the clean metadata again, just something that you might overlook is just making sure that it's spelled exactly correctly. If you have an accidental double space or anything like that, that can be enough to trick our machines to thinking that it is not the same series. So I think that's really, really important. And then also, if you browse kobo.com, you'll be able to see we've added a lot of stuff where users can actually search by series. And then when they get the results, there's an option to like add full series to cart as well. So, and those are for the a la carte purchases. So we're definitely trying to make sure that we're enticing people to read the entire series, or at least to like, kind of keep going. So it all comes down to the metadata, I think, there.
Yeah.
So.
There's so many little things with metadata, even if it's like an extra the or something in the series name, they won't link. So I always tell authors to kind of go in and click their series name and make sure all the books that should be there are there. And you also want to get those extra watch what or read what happens next emails that we send out to readers for your new releases. So make sure that all your series are connecting properly. Good time for everyone to do an audit of their books.
Nice. I'm going to pop up this question from Maria that says, for the new stats on Kobo Plus, it appears as it is updated only once a month. Is that how it's supposed to work, as opposed to the daily updates we get on sales? So let's backtrack a little bit and maybe talk about what Kobo Plus is, and then we can kind of answer this question well. So Laura, do you want to give us like a little overview of Kobo Plus?
Sure. So Kobo Plus is our all-you-can-read and all-you-can-listen subscription program. So we have a lot of voracious readers who are part of the program and subscribe. So if you're interested in opting your books in, you can do that from your dashboard. And it's just a quick opt-in. We also try to give authors as much freedom as possible with this, so we don't have a minimum amount of time that you have to be in for, although we recommend at least 90 days so your books can get some traction and be found by readers. We also allow you to choose which territories you'd like to opt your books into, because we want to give authors as much control as possible. So you can either choose to opt into specific territories or to opt into all and future territories, which we recommend. And we just recently introduced Kobo Plus promotions as well, if you want to speak to that, Rach.
We can talk about that a little bit later, but I just wanted to focus on the non-exclusive piece for Kobo Plus. So if you're interested in the subscription market, it doesn't necessarily have to be a scary word anymore. We've kind of proven that there is room for you to be able to put your books into the hands of subscription readers without reducing the other readers that you're potentially getting. So part of our ethos here on KWL is to make sure that your books are getting in front of as many readers as possible, however they want to read them. So we're currently in 14 countries and continuing to grow. I could attempt to try and list them all, but no doubt I will forget something. But it is in all of our core English geos, which I think maybe this audience is most interested in. It's in Canada, the US, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, along with 9 other countries. So yeah, lots of different places. And so for Maria's question here about the stats on the dashboard. So this is referring to our brand new Kobo Writing Life sales dashboard, where you as authors can go in and see your kind of up-to-date information to make changes. We know that authors are so hungry for data. So wanted to make sure that we had a place where ebooks and audiobook sales all live together in one place. And then most recently, we added Kobo Plus. So yes, you are right. It is only updated on a monthly basis. It's how we're sort of getting the data. In an ideal world, we would love to have it more frequently, and we'll work on that in the back end, but no kind of immediate dates for that. But so kind of a top tip to know when the Kobo Plus stats are in the dashboard is that it corresponds with when your invoices get uploaded. So it's sort of around the 3rd week of the following month. So around, like, depending on what day of the week it falls, the 2021 of the following month. So for instance, in November, your Kobo Plus stats for October will have been added around November 20th. So that's how it'll kind of work going forward as well. So I hope that helps explain it a little bit. And you'll be able to download that information, and you can see your estimated earnings and your minutes read. And so with Kobo Plus, we calculate revenue by the minute. So that's maybe something that is a little bit different from some of the other subscription models, but it was something that allowed us to treat ebooks and audiobooks just the same. And it also sort of really discourages any gamification that we found. And it seems to be sort of a very balanced model for all parties involved. So yeah, so that is why. So Kitty has a question. Ready to publish an audiobook, and when I add the audio ISBN and hit save for later, the ISBN disappears, so I don't think it's getting saved. Sounds like it's maybe a question for our audio team who aren't here. But I would, because I know that you can't edit the ISBN after it's published. So you do want to make sure that it's the correct ISBN prior to publishing. But I would say send an email to the team. It's writinglife@kobo.com, and they'll be able to look and see on the back end to see if there's one already saved or if it's gone through. It might just be a case of it hasn't gone through yet. So cool. Thank you for the question. And then, so Catherine, what other tabs are available to request? I'm going to request audio now. Thank you. So Rachel, do you want to talk about this? These are like our terribly kept secret, like additions to accounts. So I'll let you talk to these.
All right. So in addition to the audiobooks tab, we also have the promotions tab. And when this is activated on your account, you will be able to see all of the promotional opportunities that we have available for Kobo Writing Life authors. Do you want me to kind of go through the types of promos we have? Because I could speak to this for a while. So on the tab, you'll see like a variety of promotions. We have the aforementioned free page, which allows you to get either a free first in series, or if you're doing a quick price drop to free, you have one of those highly coveted BookBub feature deals for a free book. You can submit for some promo space there. We also have our daily deal promotion, which is a highly coveted promotional spot. It is a one-day price drop promotion that gives you visibility on the Kobo deals page as well as the Kobo homepage. And then we have some of our bigger promotions, if you will. We run monthly Buy More, Save Mores. Launching tomorrow is our December romance buy one, get one. We also run promo code driven promotions. We really like to focus on those two types of promos because it means no price dropping for authors, which means no price matching on other retailers. And then we also have price drop sales, which we run in conjunction with our content sales team, who also work with other big publishers to run for example, Black Friday promotions just finished. And so those would feature KWL titles alongside titles from major publishing houses. And yeah, that's kind of the quick rundown. And then, like Laura said, I'm pointing because Laura's like directly across from me. We're both sitting in this almost storage closet podcast room. But we have our Kobo Plus promotions, which we just launched in October. This is an opportunity for you to get your Kobo Plus books in front of Kobo Plus readers. It is it's updated weekly. It's a carousel on the subscriber page. So when Kobo Plus subscribers log into the Kobo Plus store, they actually have their own subscriber store where they can find all of the books that are in Kobo Plus. And so this is an opportunity to get a little more visibility on that store. And I think that covers all of the promotions on the tab. But if you don't have either the audiobook or the promotions tab on your account, email us at writinglife@kobo.com and we will assist you with that.
Just wanted to put that comment up.
Listen, we know.
I was like, you guys could use a meeting room. This is the podcast room. That's why it looks like a storage closet, because it's
going to look better. We currently have people coming in today to make it a bit more soundproof and a bit more better looking. But we just moved into this office this year, so it's still a work in progress to get our podcast room in order.
It sounds great, though.
I was going to say, we chose acoustics over aesthetics today.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to add this one up. Phoner Books. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Do omnibuses count as new releases? I just uploaded my backlist of 40 books. Congrats, that's wicked. To Kobo. I've said wicked about 4 times. I don't know why. I haven't said that phrase in about 6 years. I'm planning 3 omnibus editions, collecting the first 15 books in the main series. Do you want to talk to this, Laura?
Sorry, it took me a second to find the unmute button. Rachel, I think that's more of a Rachel question, maybe the new releases part of it. Would you include that in a new release promo?
Sorry, we're having some acoustic issues when Laura and I are both unmuted. But I would absolutely email us. We have a new release form, which you can find on our help center. And anytime you are uploading a new book or box set or audiobook, fill out that form to let us know. We can never guarantee space for any titles, but new box sets we absolutely will include on those lists if we have the space. So the more notice you can give us about new releases, the better. If you go onto the Kobo Writing Life Help Center and type in, tell us about your new releases, the form will pop up. That is the name of the article. But yeah, so long story short, yes, we do consider new box sets to be a new release because it is something that has not been featured on the store before.
And I think the new releases are the way our store. That one to you. I was just like, I consider it, but I guess it's final question is up to you. But the store, it's all based on the date that you choose. So it again comes back to the metadata. So if you are choosing to, your date of publication is today, therefore that is a new release on the store. Because you're saying that these are backlist books, it's sort of up to yourself if you wanted to use the original publication date or have them as new releases. I like definitely if you're kind of moving wide for the first time, we sort of say to treat those as new releases because they are new to the Kobo audience. But if it's a kind of like a backlist of books and if they were already on Kobo, you might want to use the same date there, but an omnibus then could be considered a new release as it is in itself a new book product essentially. So
and
you guys have to be in 2 new rooms next time.
I was going to say opt your backlist into Kobo Plus because I think it's a good opportunity to find maybe a different group of readers that you didn't have before and kind of revitalize your backlist as well.
I will be rich.
And I was going to say roughly the same thing, which is if you do have a backlist group of titles that you are opting into Kobo Plus for the first time, even if you're not considering them to be new releases, but they're going to be new to Kobo Plus, please email us and let us know at writinglife@kobo.com. If you're doing a large chunk of books, just to get ahead of the email that we will send you asking for this, send over the titles and ISBNs and your author name and genre, if you can, in a spreadsheet. And we can flag that with our Kobo Plus merchandising team because they do have new to Kobo Plus placement that, again, we can never guarantee anything, but we can try. So please, like if you are opting titles into Kobo Plus for the first time, let us know because if we know, we can try to help. If we don't know, we cannot.
Fair. So I have a question here from Takiri Herath. New to Kobo, new to Wide. Congratulations. Big jump, but that's really awesome. Just released a 3rd book in my FBI Canine Thriller series. I wanted to create a 3-book box set, but wonder if it will cannibalize the new release. What would you recommend? Thanks so much. I definitely would probably wait if you're new to Wide. That would be my recommendation. With box sets, 3 does seem to be the sweet number that people put the box sets in. But something on Kobo to keep in mind as well is that we don't have a higher price cap. So if you are making kind of bigger box sets, we do see authors really pricing them for their value because even if you're pricing above $9.99, you're going to earn 70% on each sale. So I would definitely maybe wait. Again, consider your book release, consider publishing Wide as a brand new release. And you're dead right that you don't want to take away from sales that could potentially take away from like this brand new book. But then I think it depends, so if you were doing a discounted first book and then tiering the pricing, then maybe a box set is quite appealing to those readers. If you were doing perma-free, same sort of idea. But yeah, I think it sort of depends on what your plan is. Do you guys have any comments on that?
Okay. So I'm going to say roughly the same thing as Tara. Like I would personally give it some time after your 3rd book has come out before you bundle the books because you don't want to take away from the 3rd book launch. However, I do think creating that box set is then an opportunity to bring new readers into the series as a whole. So give the 3rd book a chance to kind of, do its thing, have its moment in the sun, and then when you're ready to kind of boost the whole series again, then you can put it into a box set, find new readers, put the whole box set into Kobo Plus, find those readers, submit your box set to Kobo or to our box set only promotions. So I think box sets are also an opportunity to find new readers for your whole series. But again, you don't want to overshadow the release of your new book.
And one thing to keep in mind with box sets as well, they are really popular with our readers. And while we don't have any like rules in place that we don't accept this cover or anything, you can upload any cover you would like. The plain white background with a 3D book is probably less inclined to get picked for like promotional opportunities, just because it makes your book cover really, really little. So if you have like a plain white background on any sort of book cover, books are already small on the store and it makes it even smaller. So I would recommend sort of treating your box set cover almost like an ad for your series. We do have a post that gives recommendations on covers that we like other authors that we see doing. Sometimes it's like the same themed coloring. If it's a 3D box set, but it's on top of an image that could be like maybe like a visual scene from the movie or something. But I look at it as like, what kind of imaging would you use for like a Facebook ad or something? And like maybe using a box set like that. I'm trying to think of like one that I liked lately, but there's lots of good ones. Some of them have, they just say box set and it's just sort of a different image as well. There's lots to play around with.
There's an article from our help center, maybe Terrence can link, but it also has examples of some that we like. So definitely take a look at that one for sure. And make sure you're taking advantage of all the box set promos that we have in the promo tab when those come up, because those are very popular with Kobo readers as well.
Aruj has a question here. So one, how do we get sales reports from Kobo? So those are uploaded to your account once a month. So if you're in Kobo Writing Life, at the very, very top, it says My Account. And if you go into payment information, that's where you'll see your invoices. If you have books in Kobo Plus that are being read, you'll see 2 invoices each month. So one will be for your kind of all of your a la carte sales, including your library sales. And then the other one is just for the subscription. So you'll see those there sort of toward the 3rd week of the following month each time, the same time that we update the Kobo Plus data. UK-based contact. We're a global team. If you have any questions, you can email writinglife@kobo.com. And yes, we have lots of guides for setting up books on Kobo. So if you go to our help center or even email writinglife@kobo.com, we'll be able to help you out with that. And then, so we have a question from P. Charlotte. What's the difference between Kobo Plus and the basic Kobo level? I assume you maybe mean from like a reader point of view. So maybe I'll start with from a reader and then to from the author perspective. So if you're a Kobo reader and you have the option of just kind of purchasing books as you would like, so you can buy the books like as their price. So we call that the a la carte purchasing. So you're just kind of buying them one by one, or you have the option if you wanted to pay a monthly subscription, and then it's kind of like all you can read within that subscription period. So in the States, I believe it's $7.99. I should know these off the top of my head. So for Kobo Plus, it's $7.99 a month. For ebooks, it's $7.99 a month for audio, and then I think it's $9.99 if you want to get ebooks and audio together. And the pricing is very similar in all the different areas that we are. So as a customer, so you can either do Kobo Plus Read, where it's just ebooks, Kobo Plus Listen, where it's just audiobooks that you get, or Read and Listen, which is a really good deal where you can kind of bounce between both. So that would be the kind of main difference. And then on the author perspective, so if you're publishing your book, so you are setting the price that goes in. So then the difference with Kobo Plus is that you just sort of add your book to the subscription model. And the royalty rates are slightly different. So everything priced above $2.99 for your a la carte books is going to earn you 70%. But with the subscription model, it's based on a revenue share payment model. So what that sort of means, and this gets a little complicated, so maybe we can drop down an article, because I find it sometimes a bit easier when you see number examples to go through. But on a high level, what that means is that in any given territory that we have the number of subscribers in that month, and then we have the total number of minutes that the books have been read and listened to. And if we divide the subscribers by the minutes, that's going to give us our value per minute. And that's kind of what we use, which is kind of the equivalent of like the page read on other platforms. So then your value per minute, you multiply all of the minutes your book has been read in the given period, and then 60% of that is your earnings there. So it does sound complicated, but it is a very, all of these subscription models have very similar revenue share takeaways or revenue share formats. And the main takeaway that we often get from authors is that they added their books into Kobo Plus and their earnings just increased, which has been really, really awesome feedback to get. Do you guys want to add anything to the differences between Kobo Plus?
I was just going to say that every time you explain the revenue share model, I'm so impressed, because every time I try to explain it, I need a visual diagram.
It's because I made the visual. So I think I have it in my mind that like, yeah.
I have nothing to add other than like echoing what you said, which is from the author perspective, by opting your titles into Kobo Plus, you are potentially reaching a different group of readers. We always like to kind of divide the readership of Kobo into 4 different sections. So you have the a la carte reader who kind of goes in, buys one book at a time and reads them. We have the listener who is all about audiobooks. We have the borrower who is all about the library. And then we have the subscriber who are, again, the most voracious readers. And so by opting your titles into Kobo Plus, you have an opportunity to reach more readers.
I was also going to say that I was impressed with how you explained it. So there you go.
Well, good. We'll keep the questions coming. There's lots. I'm kind of slowly working my way through them, so sorry if I'm not getting to them. So with this one from Anna, so maybe Laura, you can take this. Sorry, I joined late. I'd like to put my self-published books in Kobo. Does your FAQ explain what to need to... All right, it's on the screen. What you would need to do, are you formatting ISBNs, etc.?
Yeah, so I definitely recommend checking out our Help Center. We have a Getting Started article that will explain everything you need to do, as well as different articles about formatting and ISBNs, etc. And if those don't help and you still have more questions, you can also email our team, writinglife@kobo.com, and our content operations team can help you more with getting your book set up.
Yeah, one thing I would say is don't be afraid of emailing us because we're happy to help. We're happy to kind of help out with any aspects of the publishing. So like this is a good question as well, Charlotte, for people that might not know, do you need to pay to publish a book? Absolutely, that could be daunting, but no, it's totally free to create an account and to publish a book. It would just be the different royalties then that you would earn, like the 70% on each sale. But I think a general rule of thumb for sort of like publishing in general is that you should never have to pay upfront for anything. I know it's very hard to toe the line between like potential vanity presses and different kind of scam things that are available. But there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that are super helpful to authors. So before ever paying for anything, I would ask a group like Wide for the Win is really awesome. I would ask them something like that and just be like, hey guys, is this legit? Because no, it's upfront payment is, I would say probably never, but maybe there is some opportunity, but we don't ask for that. Maria has, yes, so she's seen the Kobo Plus promo in the tab. It is expensive at $50. Is there any other promo options for Kobo Plus? So yes, thank you for the feedback. That is, we're kind of playing around with this at the moment. And because it is the only opportunity right now for books on Kobo to be, spotlighted within Kobo Plus, and it's going to those core subscribers, and it's kind of in the website. It's also included in emails, and it's included on the device itself store. So Kobo devices, readers that have those tend to be the most voracious, as they've invested in like a really good hardware to read their books. So we think it's really important to be able to also put Kobo Writing Life titles that are being paid for like in front of those readers. So that's the reason behind the sort of pricing, but also open to kind of playing around with things. But about opportunities, Rach, do you want to talk about if there's any other opportunities for Kobo Plus?
So currently the only like promotion spot that we have on Kobo Plus is in the promo tab. Like Tara said, this is new. We are just starting out with Kobo Plus promotions. So this is kind of our like new baby. I personally would love to see this grow. I would love to see more Kobo Plus opportunities available for our authors. Otherwise, if you are opting titles into Kobo Plus for the first time, like I've already said, email me or email the team, I should say. I'm not the only one who answers these emails. And writinglife@kobo.com. Let us know your titles are being opted in, and we will send them over to our Kobo Plus merchandising team so they can add them to the store accordingly. But as of right now, the one that's in the promo tab is the only official promotion we have, but I would love to eventually add more. So
Yeah,
hopefully.
we've been working with authors that are sort of gathering their own promotional opportunities for Kobo Plus. So that's been something that's really, really interesting. Whether or not it's like a group of romance authors that really want to push Kobo Plus books. We've been collaborating on stuff like that as well. So we're definitely in the experimentation phase and are open to collaboration on any sort of ideas regarding promotions in general, not just around Kobo Plus. But I think Kobo Plus has like the most opportunity as it's sort of a new space for us. Laura, do you want to talk to this one? If there's like coupons or a way to deliver free ebooks without public price matching? Because I know price matching can be such a nuisance when you're a wide publish because you have to change the price on so many different places.
Yeah. First, I just wanted to recommend one website because I know we mentioned publishing scams in vanity publishing. There's a website called Writer Beware that maybe Terrence can link to in the comments. And that's a good spot to check out any publishing things that you're wondering if they're a bit fishy. But back to coupons, we do have coupons we can make. They're not available on the author end for you to create yourself, but we can create them for you. If you email us at writinglife@kobo.com, we can create them so you can provide them to readers or anyone you want to get the book for free. And then that way you don't have to worry about public price matching. We also could do like a 25% off or 50% off code if you want to give someone a discount as well. So yeah, just email us to get those set up.
And just to kind of jump on that, when you are emailing us, if just to, again, expedite the process, the information we need to know to create a promo code for you is the ISBN of the title you would like discounted, how many times you would like that promo code to be used. So we can create, if you're, for example, sending out promo codes to reviewers and you want a different code per customer, we can do that. Or we can create one code for you, like book 50 and you'll get 50% off. So let us know how many times you would like the promo code discounted, how long you would like that promo code to be active for, and the percentage you would like discounted. Just the more information you can give us up front, the faster we can get this done for you.
Also, that's for audio as well. We can also create you promo codes for audiobooks. I don't, maybe you mentioned that, sorry if you did. But it's for both ebooks and for audiobooks, which is, yeah, something worth noting. Question. Currently using D2D to upload to Kobo, except for box sets. They're all in Kobo Plus. If I want to remove them via D2D and re-upload them directly to Kobo, is this okay? Absolutely. You can definitely do that. The only thing to maybe be concerned about, you might get caught in our content moderation as a duplicate if the book is still active on D2D. You kind of maybe, yeah, it's a little bit with the timing. You want to make sure that there's not two versions of the same book available. Only because we did some studies before that actually showed that it generally discourages purchasing when there's two of the same book because customers are a bit confused and they're like, I don't know why. And especially if they're different prices, they're less inclined to purchase either of them. So yeah, I would definitely just make sure that you kind of don't have the duplicates there. And we can even transfer any ratings and reviews from one book to the other one as well. You can just email the team and ask about this. So that's at writinglife@kobo.com, and we'll be able to do this for you. And yeah, anything else to add to that?
I was just going to say maybe it's a good time for everyone on the call to kind of take a look at their books in the Kobo store and make sure there aren't any duplicates, because I've definitely talked to authors before who maybe had books up through Draft to Digital or Smashwords and didn't even realize they were up on the store through Smashwords or something like that. So definitely take a look and make sure there aren't multiple versions of your book, because like Tara said, it can be a confusing experience for readers and they could be at totally different prices. So you want to make sure there's no confusion there.
Cool. And this is an interesting question, Bruce, about so you have 3 interlocked books in a series. How do I create a box set? Yes, we kind of talked about it, but we're not specific talking about the creation. So we don't have an option of kind of like adding the books together to make a bundle. So it would be you creating the file. So you'd be however you create your books, whether it's like a Word doc or an EPUB. I think like Vellum have really sweet options about creating box sets and stuff, and it's pretty easy to navigate. So it depends on whatever program you're using. But if you have a Word doc per se, your Word file would just contain all 3 of your books. So one thing that I think is really important with box sets is making sure that you have a really good table of content that's navigatable, because you want your readers to be able to navigate the box set as well as each individual book. So you want to make sure that it's accessible and kind of easy to browse back and forth, especially when you're getting into like the super duper box sets that can be like 12 book bundles and things like that. You want to make sure that the readers can kind of navigate the books easily. And then with the covers, it would be the same idea, right? So however you're already creating your cover, making a new cover for that box set.
And I do believe we have an article on our Help Center titled How to Create a Great Box Set or something in that vein. So for if you need a refresher of what Tara just said, or you're like me and you're a visual learner, it is there as well.
It's in the chat. Terrence is way ahead of us, so it's already there.
It's been linked. We're good. And that has some great cover examples as well, which is helpful.
Yeah. So Laura, what do you think about this? Would opting your book into Kobo Plus be better for an established author than a new author?
I think it's good for everyone. I think it's a good opportunity to find a new audience that you might not have already if you're an established author, and a good spot to find readers in general if you're a new author. I don't think you have to be worried about opting your book in. And it's a good spot as a new author to kind of like build your audience, and that way you have an audience of subscribers for your next book and an audience of regular readers for your next book as well. So I wouldn't be worried about doing it as a new author.
Cool. And then I think something to note as well, if you've been publishing for a while and are not kind of sure about Kobo Plus yet, that we're noticing a lot of backlist content being read, which really leads us to kind of surmise from this that this is an audience that's discovering these authors for the first time, or perhaps they're big fans and are rereading. That's something that we haven't mentioned, is that you do get paid for rereads as well, because we're tracking the entire time your book has been open and read in Kobo Plus. So it's really, really great for creating that like super fandom for your books. So that's something to note.
Yeah, I was speaking to an author the other day who actually has a pen name that she doesn't even publish on anymore, but those books are actually getting read in Kobo Plus. So it really is a good spot for people to find new content and revitalize your old backlist.
And I just want to answer this question real quick. We were talking about the release dates earlier. Yes, you can edit your release dates on Kobo Plus or on Kobo Writing Live. There's actually 2 places. So your date will be on like the describe your ebook section, and then your actual release date is going to be on the publish your book step. So it's the very last step. So if you are editing, you should change both of them. Having 2, sometimes they get missed. So that's the only reason I say it. And then that's also to note, for example, and it's the same with ebooks and audiobooks. If you're creating a pre-order, which we recommend, or it's a really great way of kind of generating hype around your book. We don't have any date limitations with your pre-order, so you can set it as far ahead as you like. We obviously want to make it realistic and not disappoint any customers. You don't want to be creating a pre-order that's 10 years from now. But you can also change the date of your pre-order, and there's no kind of penalization related to that at all. But again, you just want to make sure you're not disappointing your customer. And Rach, you talked to this, so I'm going to give you this question. What's the difference between a borrower and a subscriber to Kobo Plus?
Great question. So we kind of divide the two. The borrower is somebody who is more likely to go get their books, their ebooks from a library. When you upload your titles to Kobo Plus, you have your ebooks to Kobo. Wow, that is tough. Kobo. It's been a day, guys. When you upload your ebooks to Kobo Writing Life, there is an option to opt your title into Overdrive, which is how librarians can find your book and add them to their libraries, so readers can go and borrow them. So that would be the borrower. And then the subscriber are folks who are paying the $7 to $9.99 depending on where they are and which program they're signing up for, to read unlimited content and listen to unlimited content on Kobo specifically. So the borrower are folks who are going to their library using the Libby app, using the Overdrive app and finding their books. And then the subscriber are those who are using Kobo Plus specifically to find their books. I hope that answers your question.
I mean, I'm saying yes. Maybe it doesn't. And then while we keep you talking, do the promos show up to readers in all Kobo regions, which is also a great question?
That is a great question. When you look at the promo tab, I want to say 100% of the time, it will tell you which territories the promotion is in. So usually I run promotions for our major English territories. So that's Canada, the US, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. So those are where our promotions are being promoted, if you will. Some of our landing pages can be accessed through other storefronts, but those are the 5 major ones that we focus on. So that's kind of an answer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are opportunities as well for non-English promotion. So if you have translations of your books, those are also moving very well in Kobo Plus. So guys, I'm going to attempt to name all of the geos. So we have in our 5 English geos, we have Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the US, and the UK. And then our other geos are the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy, Portugal, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. I did it. Great. So those are all of the areas where it is. So if you have translations, for instance, like French books or Italian or anything like that, those should be opted into Kobo Plus because I think that's a great opportunity. And also we have different promotional opportunities from time to time there as well. So the best way to let us know is maybe send us an email at writinglife@kobo.com. And yeah, we can work with you on that. But yeah, in general, the work that we do is kind of based primarily around our core English geos. But again, always open to experiment with this sort of stuff.
We also have a page on our help center. Sorry, Terrence, to send you to upload more links that allows people to let us know about their translations as well. So that would be a good spot to fill out if you have translations.
Nice. So we have had tons of questions. Thank you so much for the engagement here. This has been really awesome. And I want to say, as we're kind of winding down, so what would be some kind of tips from the Kobo Writing Life team? So Laura, what do you think your kind of top tip or top couple of tips to authors would be?
Optimized pricing.
And fighting over which answer it would be.
Yeah, right. Rachel was like, don't say this. So I would say in general for anyone who's wide would be to research the store as much as possible, not just Kobo, but any store that you're uploading to, and make sure you're learning about all the unique opportunities for that store. So for example, with Kobo, it would be taking advantage of Overdrive, taking advantage of Kobo Plus, looking into the promotions tab, uploading audiobooks if you have them, all those kinds of things. Yeah, I think that's my main thing, just making sure you're researching everything, reaching out to the team, maybe if you're new to publishing on Kobo, to tell us that your books are there and that you're excited to publish with Kobo. And I guess also telling your readers where your books are as well. So if you're going wide for the first time, don't be afraid to tell your readers about it, because maybe your readers are usually Kobo readers and they were just reading you on Amazon because that's the only place your books were. Like maybe they'll be excited that you're on Kobo and want to share about that. I have another tip. Am I saying too many tips? Can I keep going?
No, it's great. I mean, okay. I want to see what Rachel's going to come up with if you keep talking. So
if I keep talking. Okay, one more tip. I'm not saying the one that Rachel told me not to. If you're doing any social media ads for your books and you're publishing on Kobo, make sure you are directing ads to Canadian readers. There are so many times where I talk to authors and they're like, my Kobo ads aren't doing anything, and they're only pointing them at the United States. So get in the global mindset and keep in mind that you need to look at other countries, like look at Canada, that's our home country, but also look at Australia, New Zealand, and that kind of thing. And you can also even use links from our partner stores like Bol in the Netherlands or Booktopia in Australia and New Zealand, and use those links as well. So yeah, take advantage of all those opportunities.
It's my turn.
Sure.
What I had muttered under my breath to Laura was, don't say optimize pricing, because this is one of my favorites. So optimize your pricing. Kind of going off what Laura said, we are a global store. We have storefronts in more countries than we'll say the number of, because I'm actually not entirely sure what it's at now. But we have storefronts all over the world. So make sure your pricing is set, especially in the major English geos. So when you upload your title to Kobo Writing Life, you will have the opportunity to set your price in your default currency. So let's say you are uploading from the United States. So in USD, you toss in $4.99. You will then have the option to custom set prices in all other currencies. There will be a suggestion, so it will convert the prices for you, but those prices aren't that pretty. So for example, if you convert $4.99 to Canadian, which like Laura said, we have a huge readership in Canada, the price is going to be something like $5.73, which frankly is just not as cute. So take the opportunity to make a couple extra cents per purchase and round that up to $5.99. That offers a cleaner shopping experience for customers. It makes you a couple more pennies per sale. And there are some promotions that you can't even submit to unless you have custom pricing set in our major English territories. And I would recommend setting your prices in as many territories as you can, but especially the major English ones. And when I'm going through submissions for promotions, if I have a huge number of submissions, prettier prices are going to be more appealing to both me and future customers than the $6.73, the $5.43. I don't know why I keep saying 3, but yeah, optimize your pricing. And then the other thing I would say is kind of along what Laura said, which is research the Kobo store as well to kind of see what covers are trending on Kobo, what Kobo readers are more drawn to. And again, remember that what's going to sell in Canada is going to be different than what's going to sell in Australia. So look at the global store. If you're on kobo.com, you can go up. There's a little flag at the top of the store. Click on that and you can navigate to all of the other storefronts that are available. So kind of echoing Laura, do your research, optimize your pricing.
Nice. Yeah, I think you guys covered everything. I think that was great. Something that I was going to add to kind of considering the different stores is that you can download the Kobo app for free. So kind of see what the reading experience is like. So it's available on iOS or on Android. You can even start like a free trial of Kobo Plus. You can kind of see what it looks like from a reader perspective. So if you're publishing wide, I would sort of make the effort to get a little bit familiar with at least the kind of main retailers, with Kobo being one of them there. And if you're not sure about like pricing or, you know, what description works, like what kind of cover is working or anything like that, I think something to keep in mind is that your comparable titles are not going to be the same on every retailer. So like what are called the also bots on Amazon, we call it by similar to this author or something along those lines. They're not always the same. So like your reader, your comparative authors on Barnes & Noble will be maybe different to Kobo. So I always think that that's a good thing to do, is like do a little bit of research about like, okay, what does my category look like on Kobo? What are the other authors kind of doing, or what seems to be successful there? And then my main kind of tip, I think, is just really to be patient. It is a bit of a longer game to kind of get your books in front of readers. Luckily, Kobo Plus is a way of kind of accelerating this a little bit, as it makes it very easy. It's a very easy point of entry to readers to try and try out new authors for the first time. But I definitely would make some plans and just sort of be patient with the results that are coming through there. Anything else to add, or there's a question that I can pop up?
I just wanted to add one thing to kind of echo what we started out talking about at the beginning of this live event, is metadata. Go over your metadata, make sure all your series are linked, make sure there's no errors anywhere, especially series metadata. Make sure books 1 through however many are properly in that series number. There are so many times where I will find a series on the Kobo storefront and I'll click into the series and none of the books are numbered. And even if they're all standalones, having an order in which to read them does help readers know kind of where to start. So again, check in that metadata, make sure it's all neat and tidy and everything is linked.
And then Alicia, you might be the last question, but I'll take it as this has popped up. So thanks for dropping it in. Do you have any strategies or tips for choosing or ordering the book categories? Which I think is a great question, because that also kind of goes to what we were just talking about how the categories or keyword options aren't quite the same. So we don't have keywords per se, but I would really recommend sort of including them in your description of your book, kind of making sure it's not, I mean, you could just at the bottom have a bunch of keywords, but it might not be the most attractive, but just that you're optimizing your blurb to make it kind of as appealing as possible. And then for categories in general, so you have the option to choose 3 with Kobo, and I believe we prioritize like the first one. So the order that you have them in is how they're, it helps how your book is being surfaced, I believe. So what I would say is if you can get a bit granular with your category, instead of necessarily having it as, for example, like contemporary romance as number 1, that probably has the most books. So it's maybe a little bit harder for your books to stand out there. So I would maybe kind of consider which one you are making your first category. And also to use all 3, because that helps with your searchability on our store. Yeah. And I know that we don't necessarily maybe have as many category options, but it's something that we're hoping to add and work on. So if you ever have any feedback about things that you would like to see, we welcome that. So you can email us out at writinglife@kobo.com. Anything to add on categories, guys?
Just kind of, again, research what titles that are similar to yours are categorized on the store.
Again, research what
Wow.
titles are similar to yours or categorized.
How did you do that? Oh, we've got robots. Amazing. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. As we're coming into some tech difficulties, I think it is a wonderful time to end. We really appreciate all of your questions and for tuning in live. We'll be coming back in December for a kind of earlier in the month live event that we're really excited about. So be sure to keep an eye on our newsletter. You can subscribe and making sure that you're kind of keeping an eye on our socials to find out when that next event is. I'm super stoked about that. Laura is saying goodbye early. But yes, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate the time today and the questions. So we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Thanks so much, everybody.